This is The Extra Point, an Arizona's Family Originals podcast, sponsored by your Phoenix Suns.
Well, it's an exciting time in Valley sports. It's an exciting time to be an Arizona State Sun Devil. The Sun Devils are going to the Peach Bowl for the second time in program history. In studio now, a man who needs no introduction to longtime Sun Devil fans, the man who led the Sun Devils to the 1970 Peach Bowl victory, Spaghetti Joe Spagnolo in studio. And, I mean, how excited are you about what's going on right now with Sun Devil football?
Very excited. I wish I was going with them.
Well, how many plays do you still have left? It was you played in the snow. You've got a great story about how you played semi-pro football and really kind of put ASU on the map. So being able to kind of lay the groundwork, what did you think when you saw their name pop up in the college football playoff?
Well, I was a little surprised considering they were picked last in the conference. And but once you see these kids play, they remind me of what we used to be like. Nobody gave us a chance to do anything, and we ended up going undefeated for 10 games and then winning the Peach Bowl.
What was the team like back then? To take us inside the locker room, Frank Kush, the legendary stories at Tonazona. What did it take to play football for the Arizona State Sun Devils back then?
It took a lot. I mean, the man was tough. He was very fair. I mean, he gave me a shot, so I can't complain about that. But you had to be in great shape physically because he ran you quite well. I mean, there wasn't a time that any of the players were out of shape or in the fourth quarter where nobody gave up. And that's what I see in these kids today. They don't give up. They keep on coming at you.
Yeah, I mean it's a hallmark of a championship team right there. How did a kid from New Jersey, son of immigrants, you were in New Jersey till you were 9, or you got to New Jersey when you were 9?
I got to New Jersey from Italy when I was 9.
Did you speak any English?
No, not at all.
Did you know anything about American football?
I didn't know about American football until I was a freshman in high school.
So take us that story. You walk on campus as a freshman in high school, and what does they say? Hey, you can throw the ball, or what's going on? Well,
actually, the head coach was my cousin Butch's friend. They played together, and I was late to tryouts because my dad really wouldn't let me play. So I kind of walked in late, and he says, "Well, you're a week late." I said, "Yeah, I'm sorry." Anyway, I told him my name, and he goes, "Oh, do you know so-and-so?" I go, "Yeah, it's my cousin." So I made the team automatically. But, I went out as a wide receiver at first and transitioned into quarterback. I don't know what he saw me in there, to be honest with you, but I transitioned into a quarterback and a defensive back.
So you start playing quarterback. Who did you study to kind of learn the position back then?
I'd be honest with you, I didn't really watch a lot of football back then. There was probably Fran Tarkenton from the Minnesota Vikings. I like his scrambling abilities. So he was one of the first.
Yeah. How much does your game kind of compare to Sam Levitt's this year, the ASU quarterback? Because he likes to take off as well. I don't know if you can dance like him still, but the guy certainly has some moves.
He's definitely got moves. And he's a good-sized kid, too. He, unfortunately, I played at 180 pounds, but I ran quite a bit my sophomore and junior year, not as much my senior year because we had better running backs than myself. So
throw it to the fast guy. That's like
exactly.
that's the key to being quarterback.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got to play it with your brain. Okay, so how's a kid from Italy, New Jersey, end up as a starting quarterback in 1970 and the 2 years prior at Arizona State?
Well, I initially went to try out or got a scholarship from Memphis State University.
Hold on, how did they find you?
Well,
there was no like huddle or clips back then. So
no, my head coach actually was a graduate of Memphis State, and he got me a scholarship there. And I actually signed a letter of intent to go there. And the last day I was there, I was not overly impressed at what I saw, and came back home. And Coach Kush made me an offer, and I couldn't refuse. So I moved out to Arizona.
Can you imagine what the NIL deal would have been? Back if it was now, you probably could have gotten, like, they call you Spaghetti Joe. You could have at least gotten a spaghetti endorsement out of the deal, right?
Absolutely. I wish.
All right. So you come out here, Coach Kush makes you an offer you can't refuse, but you're not the starter. So how did you win the job for the legendary and hard-nosed Coach Frank Kush?
Well, at the time I was third string quarterback and second string defensive back. Our starting quarterback kind of floundered up in Wyoming. Didn't have a a very good half, and so I'm anticipating Coach Cush calling the other guy ahead of me, and he called out my name, and I never let the position go after that.
Really? Okay, so mentality, athlete's mentality. What you throw on your helmet, you're running on the field. What's the heart rate like, and and how do you get command of the huddle with the guys that are looking to be led?
Well, I mean, they know that I was a pretty tough kid because I played defensive back as well. So I had a lot of jitters. Maybe that's why I have a heart condition today, from that first day. But I took command right away because we were losing, and we had a better team. But unfortunately, we did end up losing to Wyoming. That was the last time we lost to them.
Really? So,
Yes.
but what's the play where you said to yourself, "I can do this"? And confidence is so big in sports. There's the whole fake it till you make it thing. Did you have the confidence, or did it take a moment to say, "All right, let's go, boys. Let's go big places"?
No, I had the confidence because I practiced with the first team and second team, of course. But the first play, and pretty much every game I played after that, the first play was right up the middle to 44 trap, we called it. And it was Art Malone, who was one of the best running backs ASU's ever had. And that was my first play almost in every game.
44 trap.
44
They didn't see it on film and know it was coming?
You couldn't block it because you think you have the gentleman tackled, and you got a cross block coming the opposite way.
And
So,
wham,
yeah,
trap 'em.
that kind of took the pressure off for me. Got my first hit, got up.
The
my
juice is
feet.
flowing?
The juice
Yeah.
was flowing, and then I threw a slant pattern to my number one receiver, J.D. Hill, and that was it.
Yeah,
was it.
you're off and rolling. Okay, so what are the plays that really stick with you? I mean, it's been since the late '60s, the '70s. What are the ones when you lie down at night, you just say, "Man, that was awesome."
One of my favorites is, you call a play in the huddle with because I had dynamic running backs.
Yeah.
And I would fake to them. They're thinking I'm giving them the ball, but I decided on my own that I'm going to keep because I saw the defensive end collapse. I'd fake to them. They think they fumbled. Everybody clamps down, and I swing around the side. So that was one of my favorite plays. We did that quite a bit.
What's your favorite game? What's the favorite one that you played, other than the Peach Bowl, which I want to talk about in the snow? But what's the one at Sun Devil Stadium that just was magical? And also, you look back at the video and you're like, you could just see it build and the stadium get bigger and bigger. What's the one where the whole town was on notice that the Sun Devil football team, that was the place to be?
My junior year, we played against Kansas State, and they had a quarterback by the name of Lynn Dickey.
Yeah, played for the Packers, right?
Played for the Packers,
Yeah.
and he had white shoes that he was wearing, and Coach Cush wouldn't let us wear white shoes. So that was probably the moment we really got put on the maps. That game and the Minnesota game were the two that I excelled pretty well, and we won both games by a majority of points.
But you could never get to a bowl, right? I mean, that's kind of the story with the Peach Bowl. How frustrating was it that people weren't paying attention to what Arizona State was doing and awarding any type of bowl bids?
Well, we had a bowl bid my junior year, and it was an ultimatum bowl, we called it. They didn't know whether to take us or U of A. They chose U of A before we played them. Well, we beat them pretty soundly.
Oh, my goodness.
So,
That's all part. I've never heard that part of the story before, because have you seen Arizona State's up on the screen on ESPN even this last weekend? They're putting the U of A logo. There's still not an awareness on
Correct.
the East Coast, and it's so frustrating to be from Arizona. So
It
how
is.
much did that moment sort of how much did that motivate you in the offseason to work even harder?
Quite a bit. I mean, all of us, because I had 16 seniors on my senior year, so we had quite a few of them that started out with us, and we made it a point of it. Actually, it started at in Camp Tonazona. We got flooded out after the second or third day. We got flooded out, so we couldn't finish Camp Tonazona. We literally had a hitchhike back to Tempe. Because there was so much rain, the buses were stuck. So that started everybody together.
How did you get a whole football team? Like, people were just driving down from
Correct.
the White Mountains, and
Hitchhiking, they would pick us up.
would you actually hitchhike around back then? Was that commonplace still, or is that? Yeah.
That's all I ever did. My freshman years, that's all we ever did is hitchhike.
Anybody ever say, "Wait, aren't you the quarterback for Arizona State?"
Up and down Rural Road. a
Oh
lot.
my goodness!
Yes.
What was the farthest up you went? Tell me about the Valley back then. What was it like?
Well, I mean, it was still big. For me, it was, it was massive, because I'm living in the East Coast, everything so close together and tight. Here, everything was spread out. I mean, Scottsdale was not Scottsdale of today. I mean, again, I used to hitchhike from campus to Indian school.
Hold on, your grandkids are here. Don't do this, kids, by the way. But okay, good. Yeah.
Yeah, today we can't we can't do this any longer. But yeah, it was fun times. The valley is nowhere the size that it is today. As Phoenix, we were the only game in town at that time. Phoenix Suns had just come in '68, and 68, 69, 7. We had an 8-2 season from my freshman year to my junior year. Then our senior year, we were undefeated.
Yeah.
So we had some pretty good clubs.
So, I mean, eventually the Fiesta Bowl was started because Arizona State wasn't getting to play in a bowl game, and it's just amazing to see the ride that bowl game's been on, and it's in the playoff this year. But as far as getting the Peach Bowl invitation in 1970, what did that mean to the program?
It meant a whole lot to us kids anyway, to us guys that played for 3 years and weren't going anywhere. So it meant a lot for us. And again, a lot of us were from the East Coast. We had a lot of people come down, visit us. And my parents, that was the first game they ever saw me play.
Could they watch it on TV back then?
On TV, well, yeah. Mizzaloo Productions carried it.
Really?
Yeah.
In New Jersey, you could watch Arizona State. Would it be
Yes.
like 11 o'clock at night?
Well, it was in Georgia, so it was roughly the same time.
Yeah.
The East Coast. But yeah, it was great. It
Oh,
really
so
was.
the Peach Bowl game was the first one they ever saw.
Correct.
They didn't see you were out here for 3 years and your parents never saw you play?
No.
Did they see the newspapers? Were they
Well,
aware of what you were doing?
They were aware. I mean, I would talk to them every week, of course.
Yeah.
My brother knew, because my brother went to school on a basketball scholarship in the South.
Yeah. Where'd he
So
go?
He went to Gardner Webb.
So there was just no Princeton. I mean, how did Penn State miss on you? How did Rutgers miss on you? How did
Their loss.
Yeah, Boston. Yeah, right.
I had a few
Syracuse.
I had a few scholarships there, also in track. So I had my offensive tackle in high school came out here.
Yeah.
And his brother was my fullback, and I got him a partial scholarship to come out here with me, and so the rest is history.
Right.
He gave me an opportunity to play, and I never let that go.
Made the most of it. So tell me, okay, so Peach Bowl 1970. You get the invite. I'm sure that was a huge relief. You guys were excited to go play. There was no one sitting out a bowl game back in 1970 like there is today. North Carolina, the matchup leading up to it, what was the nerves like? What was the kind of build up to that game like?
Well, it was pretty exciting because they had a kid by the name of McCauley, Don McCauley. He was the leading rusher in the country that year, and they were rated number 8 in the country. And they had a famous coach, Dooley, his name was. Actually, it's my son-in-law's last name.
Really?
Yeah,
there we go. Spelled the same way?
No, different spelling.
Does he pick soccer players? Is he building soccer players? Full disclosure, Bobby Dooley in studio with Spaghetti Joe's grandkids. They are related, and we'll bring them up here at the end. So, yeah. So North Carolina. So that you take the field against North Carolina. How big was a matchup? Because how many bowls were back then? There weren't as many, right?
There wasn't as many. The big ones: the Cotton Bowl, Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Rose Bowl, and that's pretty much it back then. There was a Sun Bowl.
Right. What day? When was it? Was it before the first?
December 28th.
So you had basically the whole world's watching, the whole sports world's watching.
Correct.
Were you getting text or not text? I guess there was no text.
There was no text.
When you went home, did people talk to you about the game that they saw?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Unfortunately, I didn't go home with the team after the game. I went to Tampa, Florida to play in the All-American Bowl.
Wow.
So I didn't get the chance to celebrate with the guys.
Really?
Yeah, that was kind of disappointing.
Just right away. There was not even a post-game meal in Atlanta?
No, I got on the plane, go to Tampa.
Wow.
That was it.
Wow. Well, hopefully you're celebrating, especially with the team going this year, and you can get everybody together. But, yeah, you take the field in Atlanta. I mean, the visuals in that game are incredible. So tell me, pregame warm-up, did you know it was going to snow?
No. It was raining. It was raining, the whole warm-ups and stuff. So when we first stepped out there, it was raining quite heavy. Then in the middle of that, it started sleet, and we were losing 28 to 21 at the half. And
how were you playing? How were you holding on to the ball and everything like that?
It was tough. It was difficult. Especially it was chilly. Sleet. It was chilly. But fortunately, we had a running back by the name of Monroe Ely, who didn't play much for us. He was big, huge back, but the thing about him, he was flat-footed. And it was perfect for the mud. You know,
Who knew?
Yeah, who knew was right. Like I said, he hardly played. I had some great running backs behind me, but they were all fast-footed, and every time they took a step, they would fall. You know, so this guy was just he
Just plant and
he
go.
ran 170 yards that game.
Wow.
In the mud.
Wow. How many yards did you have? How many passes did you throw?
It wasn't too many. Like I said, it wasn't too many because you couldn't see. I mean, I threw a touchdown pass to J.D. Hill, and I didn't even know he caught it.
Really?
You couldn't see it 10 feet in front of you.
And that was the snow?
That was the
So
snow.
what's it like on the field? And like, did you have any idea the snow was coming, or did it just start coming down? And you're in Atlanta. You wouldn't think that it would snow, right?
Exactly. We were, when Coach was giving us a few words of halftime, somebody came in and says, "Hey guys, it's snowing out there." And like I said, most of the guys, besides us East Coast guys, most of the guys were from California, and they definitely never saw the snow.
Right. It was 72 degrees probably when you left Tempe and you're in the
Exactly.
snow. So how did you? Okay, so you walk out of the locker room at halftime. You're trailing, correct?
Yes, we were.
So what did it take to win the game in the snow? Was there anything that you could go back to at like Camp Tonazona, Coach Cush pushing you so hard that helped you get over the hump and win that game?
That's pretty much what it was. The defensive coordinator made some adjustments, and they shut down. They didn't score another point in the second half. Just totally shut them down. And we had scored a punt return. Steve Holden was our punt returner and my wide receiver. He took the first punt, went all the way for a touchdown, and then from there we turned to our big back. And like I said, he ran for 170 yards, and the defense took over, and we scored points. We scored 48 total points, and that was it.
Yeah. What was it like hitting the ground, the frozen tundra of Fulton County Stadium in the Peach Bowl?
It was not comfortable at all. I mean, you couldn't see our numbers. You don't know who was running the ball. It was somebody.
Oh my goodness! And how did you keep warm? And I mean, I would imagine you got pretty wet. Did you get like a head cold after the game?
We all were pretty sick afterward, to be honest with you, because they had heaters on the sideline, pretty much fires.
Yeah,
fires going. But we kept ourselves warm.
Yeah. So what was it like? Okay, you're going to win the bowl game. What do you think? What are you thinking as the time's ticking down there, and your Sun Devil career is coming to a conclusion, and you were able to go out like that?
It was tough on me because I wasn't sure what my future was going to hold, and this is your last game of at ASU, but it's exciting also because we finally achieved something that we started out 4 years prior. We got, like I said, we got snubbed many times in bowl games, and this was the finale. It was great.
Do you see any of yourself in this year's team, in the 1970 team, in this year's team, and maybe even yourself and Sam Levitt?
Well, but a lot with Sam because he's, like I said, he's a gutty kid, and I think I was pretty gutty myself, because I wasn't the bigger stature, but I wouldn't let that stop me. So.
What about in Coach Cush? Anything with Kenny? What do you think of the job Kenny's done here in 2 years?
He's done a phenomenal job. Different coaching styles, but a phenomenal job. I mean, he's a great guy. I'm hoping I met him a couple times, hoping I'll meet him again this coming week.
Well, he might put you under center one more time. I'm trying to do a story with his first original team, the first team he ever coached here in town, a dodgeball team. I mean, he's a guy who's humble beginnings. He's coaching 8th grade dodgeball. Now he's coaching the Sun Devils. As far as just the pride of being a Sun Devil, for them to turn it around in the last 2 years where the program was before that, I mean, did you ever expect this year?
Not this quickly. No, not at all. I mean, last year I think we were in 3-9. So I expected a few more wins this year, but not especially going into a new conference. But what he's done with this transfer portal, he's done an amazing job, and he's a very, very great coach. I mean, he just handles his players like his own kids.
Right, right.
And you can see the passion in his eyes when he hugs these guys.
All right, well, let's see it with your grandkids. You guys want to come up here? All right, we got Spaghetti Joe. Here, come over here, guys. So do we have some soccer players here?
Yeah, we got a couple.
All right, so look up at the monitor. Maybe move a little bit this way, or come around here.
Come around this way, guys.
All right, so who do we got here?
This is Landon.
Yeah.
And my little one here, where'd she go? This is Elena.
Oh, Elena. So we got soccer players?
Got two big sides. We have a third, but he's practicing right now.
And what's his name?
Hudson.
Hudson. Did you know the whole story of your grandfather here? You ever seen the video?
Yeah, I watched it.
Really, in the snow? How cool was that? Yeah. What does it mean that he helped lay the groundwork for what Arizona State's doing?
It's so
That's so cool. What does he make good spaghetti, by the way? Does he? What's the key to it?
No. I've been cooking for so many years. It stems from my mother. I used to watch her, and I just, you get tired of cafeteria food when you're on campus, and so I started cooking when I was in college.
All right. So who gave you the nickname Spaghetti Joe?
They did a broadcast once at the college drugstore right on College Avenue and University, and they had what they decided to do because of my last name, Spaghetti. They had a big bowl of spaghetti painted on the wall, the windows of this drugstore, and every game they would put our scores on there, and that's how it all started. And
somebody just started calling you Spaghetti Joe, and it stuck.
Yep.
Were you okay with it?
I was okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm proud to be Italian, so there was.
You
got
to be known for something, right?
Exactly.
What would the NIL deal have been? I mean, we got to kind of get you one like after the fact, right? A bowl of spaghetti at cold beer and cheeseburgers or something like that.
Hey, we can do that for life. That's good.
A couple more. How do you watch football now? How do you watch the Sun Devils? Will we see you? Could we potentially see you in Atlanta? Or
yeah, if somebody wants to sponsor me, I'll be more than happy to go. No, I've watched every game. Unfortunately, with going up and downstairs, I can't do much of that. I've watched every game at home.
Yeah. What and so who else do you like watching? What other quarterbacks do you like watching?
In college or
yeah.
In college, I liked who do I like? There's not many college guys.
Arch Manning.
Well, in college, yes, I was Archie Manning. I played with him in that bowl game I was telling you about.
Wow. So how did that go? How did that whole deal go?
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, he had a bigger name than I did, but I did get one Heisman vote. I did get one.
You and Scattaboo.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's great.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
But, yeah, it was some good times back then. Oh, we had. I mentioned Len Dickey, Dan Pastorini.
Oh yeah, Dante. Houston Oilers. That's my guy.
The other guy, Heisman Trophy, Jim Plunkett.
Yep.
From Stanford.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's a
Joe
good career.
Theismann. We're all in the same class.
Did you at any point did you get any looks in the NFL? Like how close did you come?
I tried out with I signed as a free agent with the Pittsburgh Steelers, which was a mistake on my part because they had Bradshaw, they had Terry Hanratty.
Oh yeah.
And then
Jefferson Street. They had another Joe.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Joe Gilliam.
Yep. Yeah. Oh man, he was smooth.
So it was again I kind of panicked because I didn't get picked up. So I signed with them, and then did a little stint up in Canada. Not much because my significant other at that time didn't care for it. So
but you were used to the cold, and I mean, look at the legacy you were able to bring. One last question before you got out of here. So you were a sportscaster for a while.
Yes. Well, I read off the ticker tape.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, you got the voice. You should have your own podcast. What do we think? Yeah. All right. How about either that or you come back into the Extra Point podcast down the road here, and we'll do this again.
Be happy to do it.
Awesome. Hey, thanks so much for telling your story. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thanks for bringing in the next generation of your family here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome. The Extra Point podcast is a production of 3TV, CBS 5, and azfamily.com in Phoenix, Arizona.